I'm actually not even in the mood to do this after the live stream that I saw today on YouTube. So, but there's something that's been on my mind that I've wanted to do, and that was explain myself, or clarify myself. And so I want to take this outside, so that way I can... Alright, hold on. Okay, here I am outside now. Yeah, this table will shake. Oh well. Oh, hi, y'all. I'm under #, and I don't really want to bring people away from Morgan 3000's broadcast, but I just want to do this for just the point. And yes, in case you were wondering, I did get a shower earlier, and that's a tree frog that you hear. Hey, Carlos Santana. Alright. Now, there was a video on YouTube released by somebody of private conversations that were done between both of us. It was sort of a debate, but the thing is, the debate wasn't moderated at all. It was controlled by this person, for the most part. And I felt like I was interrupted. And maybe I was. I would have to have other people judge it. But I don't want to mention the person's name because for the most part I do want to move on from this, from what happened, because the person brought my two friends involved into it. And one of the subjects that was debated on was the fact that back years ago, like a few years ago, when Milo Yiannopoulos was on the scene, and by the way, I want to clarify myself. I am a Christian. I am registered of the Republican Party, although I do not like the party because of just everything in general about parties. Now, I will say this. Having said that, I live in a closed primary state, therefore you have to be kind of with a party of support, so I can make sure that my vote counts to some degree. But I also am not a neocon. I used to be a neocon in high school. Not anymore. Especially sometime a year or two after the Arab Spring happened, I started noticing things that were way off regarding what was going on overseas. Just the handling of everything. Then I realized, wait a minute, here's something. Most of the wars that are fought today are not just. Oh, thank you, Logan. And the thing is, I felt that this video, I did feel attacked personally and also slandered because I was taken out of context. And I wanted to seek to explain myself. But also, I felt emotionally vulnerable. Although, I feel like it would have to be done with a different person, or at least to explain things. Because when there's a person that's very opinionated, and their views are, it's hard to explain. Oh, well, thank you, Morgan. Thank you so much. Now, Milo Yiannopoulos, I did like him at one point. I mean, I do like him still, to a degree, not too much how I did then, but the person kind of has reiterated on, like, how can this person be, like, a Christian, praises Christian values, yet she hangs out with somebody who is, quote, a cross-dresser. First of all, Morgan is not a cross-dresser. That's not cross-dressing. It's cosplay. Cosplay is different. It is when you are pretending to be somebody, but you're not actually going out your way being a transvestite or something. That's the whole difference. And besides, Morgan is a very nice person. And he's actually made me return to music appreciation, because I haven't had that since high school music class. So I don't play any instruments, but he does. And then I also went after another one, Jay Cobley. Called him a psychopath. And just because Jay Cobley went off on me when I asked about Antifa, basically like the whole riots going on last year regarding Antifa, and of course he is pro-Antifa, or maybe he's supportive of Antifa, at least for what they were doing, unless it was somebody that was, because we did have a long discussion than the clip that was shown in that video, because I have it all, I have, for the most part, all of it on my YouTube channel, and people are free to see it if they want to. And I was asked, how could you be friends with somebody that would treat you like that? The thing is, I've gotten to know Jay Cobley and Morgan actually since the beginning of the year, if you think about it. With Jay Cobley, it's been like since February. The thing is, when somebody's called a psychopath, I don't want to just carelessly use that term. It's actually wrong, because there is a difference. You cannot tell somebody is a psychopath. You would have to be around them enough to get an idea. And to be labeled a psychopath, you have to go through several evaluators. Now, Jay Cobley did say that none of this bothers him, by the way, because he's so used to people just, he's got thick skin, he does. Because he's been through a lot of trials in his life, and he is still seeking, knowing things, learning things, seeking higher truth. And although I don't agree with it, but I do like to hear what he has to say, because there are certain views that I do share with him. Not all of them, but some. And also, me being a true Christian, yeah, I hang out with... The thing is, sometimes you can't choose your friends. I choose to use myself as an example by talking with other people, having an open mind, proper dialogue with these people, and basically seeing them like they're people. Because I used to be kind of somewhat like quasi-puritanical growing up, to where even my family members have said, you're going a little too far. Even my great-grandmother, who's conservative Southern Baptist, she even would tell me, you're going too far. Like, that. It was fine. Everything is fine. So, the other thing is, this whole guilt by association gets abused so much. The mere association does not mean that, and besides, there are people that are friends and they can disagree on things. I think that's okay. And I want to learn from both Jay Cobley and Morgan and other people, such as Art and them. Because I cannot just be insular from other people and all that. It's wrong. It's actually not what we're to be as Christians. And Milo Yiannopoulos, he is said to be improving himself, and if he is, I really do genuinely hope he is. Now, I can't say because of the public discourse that is going on about him, I cannot really judge, so I'm going to keep it on a skepticism, but from what I can tell, if he seems genuine. And honestly, from Timothy Gordon, who on YouTube, he is the author of The Catholic Republic. By the way, I'm not Catholic, I am Southern Baptist, who leans Methodist and is inquiring into the Orthodox Church. I have been inquiring into it since 2019, because it's one of the oldest church, and honestly, I think it's the rooted church. And even Timothy Gordon sees Milo as a very important figure in getting truth out there, like actual truth, in a way, because of the way Milo speaks. And I pray for Milo every day. I mean, what can I do? I have to do that. We're commanded to pray for enemies or friends, so on. We have to pray for our leaders. If we don't do that, then what does that make us? It doesn't make us any better. One time I liked Milo YouNow so much that I wanted to give him kids. Now, I wasn't too aware of what I really saw to want, and my feelings and ideals were different. But of course, over time, things change, and I grew up a little bit. Of course, I was like 22, 23, but still. And besides, was I really serious about that? Not necessarily, because. And by the way, and there was somebody in the comment below that video of me, basically. I'm clarifying a video in which I was taken out of context, and basically I didn't know, and it was a private conversation. Anyway, yeah, I'm kind of losing my train of thought here. I'm kind of dehydrated, to be honest, so I'm just trying to get my thoughts ready. And that's what happens. Sometimes if I'm not in a zone and I can't, if I want to grasp what I'm going to say, I got to make sure I can say it while I'm thinking of it, or else I feel like I'm going to forget it. I know I will drink water. I usually drink a lot of water at night. Now, it was the other parts that also concerned me. The one thing that was concerning me was not only just the association that I have with my friends, and I guess that makes me a bad Christian, and that's so overly judgmental. And it actually scared me. It made me feel very bad about myself. And I thought, I can't just lose friends. I mean, I don't want to be controlled in what kind of friends I can have and being real with other people, or else, because there are some people that are Christian and they feel like they have to put on a fakeness and they're not brutally honest, because the people that, not saying that they claim to be Christian, they are Christian or claim to be Christian, but they kind of have this superficiality around these people, around other Christians, and they feel like they have to have another side to them and say, okay, I'm not going to be completely honest with them. And honestly, I can understand that if some people grow up very conservative or they join another denomination of church. I mean, that's kind of natural. Now, in some of the older, more traditional churches, especially from what I've gathered of the Orthodox Church that I've learned from my friend Tecunza Cristero who is on YouTube, and he's a wonderful friend, and the way that he explains about the Orthodox Church and basically actual Christianity and a lot of, basically on history and peoples, it's really good. And he gets a grasp on it. He explains it in a way that the common man can understand. And honestly, this is probably the first time I was ever really completely judged. And I will admit, I did lose it. Only because it felt so frustrating during I don't know what happened. I felt so, hello? Can you hear me? I don't know what that was. Okay. I did lose it only because I felt so frustrated. I felt like my patience was getting spent, especially with certain people that can. Apparently, I feel like maybe I do have some patience, but after a while, if you're being bereaved, not being bereaved, I want to use my words carefully here, because I'm afraid of certain little things I say, I could be hacked over it. But that's all I want to do. Oh, thank you, Jay Cobley. And Jay Cobley is also somebody that I can talk to, and we can disagree, but we can actually have a dialogue together. And he's not a horrible person. He's not a freak. Well, I mean, depending on if you ask him, and he'll probably say, yeah, I am. I mean, that's just how he did. See, yeah, Jay Cobley, yeah, that's what it is. But define freak, and if freak is a bad thing, and honestly, He's actually a very good hard worker, and that is something that I cannot help but think, my dad was a hard worker, and he'd been through a lot of trials, and my dad is no longer here. And that is one thing that I will probably be bitter about for the rest of my life, as long as I live. Now, the next thing that was talked about in that video of me was I had to defend the statement that this person made in a video in which he was talking about the conflict going on in Armenia, or a section of the, I forgot the name of it, but it was, I can't really pronounce it, but it was an area that it's said to belong to Armenia, but Azerbaijan took hold of it, and they had their army there. Now, there was this elderly man who, and his son, and the son asked his dad, please come to Russia so we can seek safety. And there was another couple, like a father and a daughter that had a similar situation, and of course, in this case, the son stayed with his dad because his dad said, no, I am not leaving. This is where I grew up most of my life. I will die here. It's my land. And the son, loving his father, wanted to stay with him because it's his dad. And so, of course, they were captured by Yaziri military, and they were killed. And then this person made it into like this diatribe against if that elderly man just gave up his sensibilities regarding nationalism. He made it into a nationalist, like regionalism, his regionalist pride, and like it's a bad thing. Well, the thing is, I cannot shame people that are from that region, Armenia. And yes, it is technically in the Middle East. It's historically been in the Middle East, along that area of the Fertile Crescent, and Persia, so on. He basically shamed this father and son. Although he was telling me, I'm not shaming them, but it's just the mood, the language. I had to defend the honor of that family. I feel like I have to, because when somebody, and this is going on to why I also want to do this on the 4th of July, because I think that there are people that do not completely have a sense of what it is like to feel rooted where you've grown up and where you've been raised your whole life. Especially those that have been American citizens and not just like recent citizens. I'm talking about people that have had their roots go back maybe 200 years, maybe 300 years since they've been here. Like, they've been here for so long. And I'm not talking about rich people. I'm talking like working class, like poor, dirt poor people, farmers. Those are what my ancestors were when they came here. They were on likely indentured servitude, which is a form of slavery. And then all they cared about was tilling their land themselves, no slave help. A lot of them didn't own slaves, and because that is another misconception about people in the South. But especially this region in western North Carolina, historically has been like the bastion, and it is the bastion of what part of the true American culture is. And so the thing is, to be told that this person say that father and son, he should have listened to the son. Well, the thing is, they wanted to be martyrs. Should that not be respected? And he made it feel like the son had no choice because his dad or something. No, father and son love each other very much. You know what? There was actually an account. I've probably heard this account in a concentration camp in World War II, where this father and son, there were people that were choosing who would have to die, or a certain number of people that would die, and it was a father and a son. So his son wouldn't be alone, and there were families that made a pact and they died together. Now, would that be considered suicide? I do not think so, because that would be a very hard thing to do. And the thing is, that's why I would never judge somebody. I have utmost respect for anybody that they are so rooted in their family And I'm not talking nuclear family. I'm talking extended family. And that extended families have been historically existing forever. Nuclear families have only been around since the 20s. It's actually an anomaly. I'm going to read what my friend told me from Australia regarding... Man, I should have planned this. I'm sorry, I should have prepped this. And he's a very nice friend. His name is Matt. And he used to be in this guy's comment section on his dad's website. And then it left. And then he got banned. And he took the ban as... And the comment section has, to some degree, it's become a ghost town, except for the mere occasion. I'm very sorry for anybody if I... Okay, this is what he said about... This is what my friend said about what he saw. And I first found out about the video from him before I even found out about it from Morgan and them. He said, this is one where said person talking over you, then you blurting out something embarrassingly funny. And I did. He found it funny, but I found it mortifying. You want to say what you want to say, and this person wanted to say what he wanted to say. And there was friction between you both, wanting to pull the conversation in your own direction. The whole thing was rather pointless, really. I don't get why he posted this part, other than the fact that he wants to attack you in reaction to the videos you publish, bashing his music taste. And yeah, that's pretty much what it was. That, and, well, there are things I said that I do regret. But I will not regret defending the honor and dignity of that Armenian family, or any of those families that chose to stay behind because they felt rooted in themselves, and it's their choice, and they chose martyrdom. Because people see that as something that is like anomaly and horrible, but in that region, that's also a thing. Lack of understanding with regions, their culture. What is it like to really know what it is like to feel rude where you've grown up? It would be like asking me, okay, well, I guess when you just pick up and leave, if we were being attacked by like a military or something. But the thing is, not everybody can leave, and a lot of this, for generations. Would I give all this up, this land? I don't think so. And when there were people in Armenia that did leave that part of Armenia, they actually did scorched earth, and they burned down their homes so it wouldn't be used by any of the enemy. Can you imagine having to do that? And you can talk about the what ifs all day, but the thing is, I would just, the words that were said, it just sounds so disrespectful towards those families. Because they should have left. And it said, and also my friend said, your actions at work, they're obviously hurt